What did your art teacher at school, at your GCSE grade B? What did they think? What did they think of you? What did they say to you?
I mean, I pretty much just kept my head down at school really and got on with things. And I was probably very boring, but being like the second smallest girl at school and looking far too young for my age, I was pretty much anonymous. But I imagine she probably said that I was easily distracted, which rings true, perhaps more so now after my brain injury. But yeah, I mean, it was a long time ago.
Have you kept any of your?
But yeah, I don't think I particularly left a mark at all, really.
Have you kept any of your school art?
My parents are having a big old clear through at the moment, and they did find a couple of self-portraits with about 12 fingers. And I did actually, do you know, I kept my GCSE coursework until quite recently. And I showed my children because my son's doing GCSE art now, and he was really unimpressed. I was like, all right, fine. So yeah, no, I haven't. I've kind of.
You haven't ditched it, have you?
I think I have, yeah.
Oh, you'll regret that.
Maybe, but it was the right decision at the time.
It's a shame. If you could go back, think about go back. What's the best point to pick? Go back to you at that age. What advice would you have given yourself with what you know now? You disappeared. Well, the reception is dying, so I don't know if it's your Wi-Fi. Right. So I'm turning my camera off.
Okay.
Just to see if it saves a bit of bandwidth.
Oh yeah, my Wi-Fi's a bit rubbish at the studio here. Sorry. I think that my advice would be to go with your gut feeling, and if something doesn't feel visceral, I think it's a bit of a hippie stance, but I've got a rational side. My friend said that I am a stoic hippie, which I kind of accept, really, but definitely more so since my accident, because I've chilled out so much. I think there's something to be said by gut feelings and visceral, and actually going with that. And if it doesn't turn out right, then at least you've tried. You're not questioning yourself. And also, I think, stop before you make decisions. Don't leap into stuff quite so, and question the norm. So much advice. Question the norm. I genuinely feel that we are so bound by social conformity and doing things because that's what you're supposed to do. Like, I can't study art because I need to make a career. So do something else that you're good at. Okay, I'll do that. Oh, I don't know what to do after uni. Oh, well, you perhaps need to go and work in doing this. Oh, all right, I'll go do that. And you get a degree, and then you think, right, well, I need to settle down and have a family now. So I'm going to get married and have kids. And it's almost like you go through all of these motions because this is what is expected of us. And then you get to the age of 44, fall off your bike and have a midlife crisis and other experiences, and then go, oh yeah, all right, I'm going to stop and I'm going to think now and actually challenge the norm, I suppose. Be a stoic hippie. That's my advice.
That's a great summary. We'll just cut it down to that one thing. What's the best advice you've been given?
Don't undervalue yourself. And funnily enough, If it doesn't feel visceral, don't go with it.
Who did that come from?
A school friend of mine, and I think it was his dad actually, and my friend Tim. And the advice about not undervaluing yourself was from Remy and from Tim, actually. He said the same thing. They're both very wise people.
What's the one burning ambition? You talked about, more 3D. You talked about an art installation. What's the one burning ambition? If it cropped up tomorrow, it's the dream that you'd have to go and work on.
It would definitely be some public sculpture, I think. A public sculpture that is functional as well as looks good.
Where?
Oh, where? Oh, I don't know. Well, Japan, because I'd really like to visit there.
It's not about turning it into a holiday.
I've got to multitask. I've got limited time. No, I think it's hard, isn't it? You ask me tomorrow, my answer might be different. I don't know. Do you know why? Because this is the stoicism of the hippie. Going, well, I've got to be realistic, I suppose. I don't know.
If it's a dream ambition, you don't have to be realistic. You can just let it go.
I know.
What would it be?
Oh, I don't know. Public sculpture in New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I had a nice time there a few years ago. I'm sorry, you're not going to pin anything down on me in that sense, because it does change. Do you know what I quite like the idea of doing public sculpture or murals at poignant parts of my life, so places that resonate or have a good backstory. So I went to New York and I had a really nice time. I love the architecture of it, so I would love to do something there, because it was a bit, I've never been to America before. It was my first holiday away as a fully grown adult with a friend, and I was walking around like, ooh, and so that was a poignant part of my life. I went to university in Wales, so I'd quite like to go and make my mark, almost like a very loud statement. Katrina was here, basically. And particularly where I grew up, because they really not approve of what I do, so that would really piss a few people off. I quite like the idea of that as well. Yeah.
It brings us back almost full circle to something I was saying before about who you are being sort of visible in your work. And I guess in that sense, then you could recognize by looking back at some of the things you've done, it's almost like it's a little window onto who you were at that time.
Yeah.
And it is like it's a timestamp of the artist you were at that point of creation.
Absolutely. And I think the artist, and also, I don't know, I think going back to my old secondary school and perhaps doing something there as who I am now, and this is where I'm from, in the hope that it will perhaps inspire other people.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly when we have got this sort of, again, this social conformity that this is what you're supposed to do. Maybe it will stop people and go, well, actually, I'd quite like to do something like that, before rushing into the path that life has, been forced upon us, I suppose. Yeah.
Big. It's deep. If you had the world's attention for 30 seconds, what would you say?
Well, you asked me this, so I did. Obviously, do you know what I did? I'm gonna have to look it up, because I had a really good answer for that.
I did. I teed you up for that.
You did. I had to put it Let me just find it. I mean, clearly it's me, so it's not going to just be one thing. Okay.
That's fine.
Okay, here we go. Right, here we go. Oh, yes, here we go. I would say, because it was so much better when I write things. I'm not very good at articulating, but I can do writing. That's why, yeah, anyway. Right, be kind, be compassionate, be understanding. We're only human and all making it up as we go along. Learn from your mistakes and those of others. Don't be a dick or a narcissist. Get your priorities right. Make the most of your life. Fill it with joy and fulfillment. And lift your heads up and look around you occasionally. Don't read the Daily Mail. One size doesn't fit all. Don't be conservative. Drastically improve social housing. Stop killing the planet. Give peace a chance. And for the love of God, please, please stop attempting to rhythmic clap in time to the music during an encore. There you go. That's my speech.
I think that's fine. I think that's a great place to close up for the day. I didn't expect such a well thought out and well considered piece.
It's because I'm a reflector, you see.
I know.
Yeah.
And I feel actually honoured that you took the time to script that out and really give it so much thought.
Yeah, well, it was nice to do. There were some good questions in there.
It's a cathartic process, right?
It is a cathartic process, and there were things like there was questions from some of the artists who inspire you, and I was like, oh, I've not thought about that before, and name one word to describe you, and I was like, oh.
Go on, we've got a couple more minutes. What is the one word that you describe your mind?
Naughty.
Naughty.
Yes. I had to discuss that with a few friends. It's like, if you could choose one word. And the other one that I liked was who would play you in a movie of your life?
Go on then, yeah.
And what would it be called? So I called it I Wish I Was a Little Bit Taller, starring the love child of Bjork and Audrey Tattoo. And I also had great fun doing a playlist as well. So there you go.
Well, I shall post that. You can share that to me, and I shall post that.
Okay.
And we will put it to the world. I'm collating everybody's playlists.
I'll make it Spotify. I can do one for you if you like.
I'll create the playlist. You can send it to me, and I'll pop it up, and you can see. Because it is quite fascinating. The world of artists and the music they listen to is a very curious, strange, and then sometimes dark place.
There's a dissertation right there in the making, isn't there?
There is a dissertation in Annie's playlist alone. I can tell you that for sure.
I bet there is.
And you'll see that, I'm sure, in due course. Right. Thank you so much for your time.
That's okay.
I shall let you get on to continue designing and working. What is your plan?
AKA making it up as I go along.
Whatever works for you.
Exactly. Cool.
All right. See you later. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.